After the BP oil spill, many areas are still recovering, and with tens of millions of dollars now flowing into local communities, WDSU has learned that some of the money sent to the state for recovery is not being used in the hardest hit areas.
In fact, one project being funded with oil spill money is nowhere near any of the damage. It's taking place south of Lake Charles in Cameron Parish. WDSU investigative reporter Travers Mackel looks into why some elected leaders say they have a problem with that.
On a picturesque day in Wyclosky in eastern St. Bernard Parish, shrimp season is in full swing. That means Darren Stander is always working, and he's been doing this job for a while.
I was born and raised in it since I was a little kid, since I was old enough to walk.
5 years after the BP oil spill devastated the fishing community, Stander is still waiting for his check. So far, he says he's received
Zero. And I was born and raised, got all my right paperwork, tax papers, trip tickets, everything.
But while he waits, the state is cutting up $8.7 billion in settlement money. Much of that will be used for coastal restoration. And while Louisiana's Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority, the agency charged with deciding what projects get funding, is spending plenty in southeast Louisiana, we've learned that other projects, like this one in Cameron Parish in southwest Louisiana, are also being funded with oil spill recovery dollars. According to the state's website, it's hydraulic restoration, and the purpose of the project is to manage salinities being introduced into adjacent water bodies through the Calcasieu Ship Channel to reduce the rate of wetland loss and the surrounding wetlands. That, despite the area receiving little major damage from the oil spill which happened off the coast of Plaquemines Parish.
To me, it doesn't make any sense. Why does somebody get, everybody deserves something, they say, but why give it to somebody that it doesn't affect?
Harvey Roberts is also a fisherman in Wyclosky.
Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating.
Some elected officials who were very involved when it comes to BP oil recovery money are well aware of what's going on, and they're not real thrilled about it.
I would have to say it's more political correctness.
Chris Roberts is the councilman at large in Jefferson Parish. When the oil spill happened in 2010, he was a district councilman who represented Grand Isle and other hard-hit areas.
I go back to the analogy of, when your house burns down, the insurance company's paying you because the disaster's there at that address. They're not going to your neighbor's house and saying, okay, you were right next door, your house didn't catch on fire, but we're going to go ahead and fix it up for you too. That's just not how it works. And we have a lot of needs in southeast Louisiana.
Lafitte Mayor Tim Kerner agrees.
I would expect that it should have went to where they had a greater impact, which was southeast Louisiana.
The deputy director of the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority says he understands the concerns and pushback, but Louisiana has to focus on the big picture.
The Coastal Master Plan looks at the entire coast, and we're seeing land loss across the entire coast. And so as we start to look at if we could prioritize projects, they're not necessarily all in the southeast. They're definitely pieces and projects of southwest coastal area that are important to the state as well.
Kyle Graham says money flowing into the state comes from 4 areas. Money required to offset any damages, money which was part of the criminal settlement, money from the Restore Act, which goes to cover civil fines, and money for economic damages. He says his agency will continue to focus on all parts of the state, while others think their areas deserve more attention.
So give the money to somebody that didn't affect, that's devastating. That's heartbreaking, that.
I'm Travers Mackel, WDSU News.
And when it comes to individual claims made by people and businesses harmed by the 2010 oil spill, BP has paid out now more than $5.6 billion.